Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Mom Street USA. I am your host, Jackie, and today you are in for a treat. We've got another hub episode where our good friends Duck and Jess have joined us to chat more things about Disney, and we're actually talking about Disney this week. Normally, when Duck and Jess join us, we talk Universal, but we are talking Disney today, and today's topic of choice is Disney World date night. So we are going to dive into some of our suggestions for either kid-free date night, if you are so lucky, or a date night that maybe does include your kids or your whole family. So that is the goal for today. But before we jump into our info, Duck and Jess, how are you doing?
Doing great. Can't complain.
I love it. All right. Well, let's go ahead and hop in because I'm excited to hear what you guys have to share about Disney date night because this is unfortunately not something that I get to do very often because I have children. And
Yeah, yeah. I feel like that's generally true. I feel like a lot of listeners of the pod, and also just people who are going down to Disney in general, people don't build in like date night time, yeah, which is totally understandable, right? Sometimes it just doesn't fit. Sometimes this is your once in a lifetime trip, and you don't want to take away from, park time or something like that. But as you are a regular, or maybe you're going for a longer period of time, it's a vacation still, right? I think it's hard to remember that sometimes because Disney can get so busy and so overwhelming, and you're planning lightning lanes and in-park dining reservations, and you gotta go, 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 and you gotta make sure that you do and see and be everything.
right.
So, we like to remind people that it's important to, as fun as the parks are, it's also important to slow down, take your time, and enjoy it because after all, it's still a vacation, even though sometimes it feels a little bit like a desk job.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's funny because I was talking to Andrew before I jumped on and I was like, hey, what if you were like going to plan a date night? What would you do? And he was like, what is that? Like what what? No, that is not something.
His brain buffered.
Yeah, he literally was like, what do you mean a date night like at Disney like without the kids?" And I was like, "Yeah, like we used to do 10 plus years ago before we had children because our oldest is turning 10 soon, which is wild." Yeah, so we'll get into that later, but
Yep.
let's jump into your suggestions for
Yes.
Disney date nights.
Absolutely. And so before we jump into the list of suggestions that we have, I do just want to note that, like I said before, this is focusing on not park activities, right? Some of these suggestions may take place in the park, but this isn't like, anyway, you're gonna wolf down some chicken fingers and then try to sprint over to Guardians of the Galaxy while holding your spouse's hand, right? Like that's not not a what these vibes are. Not a date. That's not, I mean, for us it is, but I understand if it's not for other people. So, if you these are intended to slow down, enjoy some shopping, enjoy some dinner, some drinks, things like that. And also, Jackie, as you alluded to, we try to build itineraries that were both for people who do not have children with them on the trip, or who maybe can get reliable childcare through one form or another, as well as people who are or people with kids and without kids, basically. So we tried to keep it a little bit flexible. We built some itineraries. Take pieces as you can because again, it's not always so easy to build these things in. But you're on vacation, so it's important to slow down and to enjoy yourself.
Yes. All right. So I think we're
All
going to
right.
talk about in parks first, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So we're gonna jump right into the end park. So this one can be done with and without children. Because it's not always super easy to find somebody to watch your kids in general, let alone on vacation.
Right. And I do want to say that there are groups and organizations and companies that exist down in Orlando that can help parents with childcare, in park nannies, babysitters while you're on vacation. We are not here to like promote or denounce any of these organizations. We just simply want to state that on both sides of that decision, like trust your gut as a parent. You know what I mean? If you're not comfortable with the idea of using one of these services, then don't use it and figure out another way to do your quote unquote date night and include your kiddos or figure out a way to, be next to them, but not with, I don't know, be creative. We're gonna give you some ideas tonight on
Yeah.
how to do that. Um,
That's what you got to do as a parent. I mean, truly. And, if you're fortunate enough to go with extended family, maybe you can plan in advance that, a friend or family member can watch the kiddos, things like that.
right.
But yeah, those services do exist. And again, use your best judgment. We would never tell people what to do necessarily as parents with those types of decisions.
Right. And I think too, something to remember is like, don't don't go against your gut because then it's gonna ruin your night. Like, I hate that, you know what I mean? But like if you are like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I don't really wanna do this, but, my spouse wants me to, or my friend wants me to, or they said it, my internet friend said it would be fine, but I don't really love the idea of doing it," then don't do it because you're just gonna be worried
Yeah.
and consumed by it the whole night. So, like, go with your gut, go with what you think is the best for your particular situation. And I will say a lot of those
Mhm.
services are easier the older your kiddos get because they have maybe a device that you can leave with them, or they're able to, express themselves fully and be aware of what's going on and what they can ask to do. And, it just really depends on your situation, your kiddos, and all of that. So just keep all of that in mind. If you choose to use one of those services, fantastic. If you don't want to, also fantastic. You're gonna have a great time. You're in Disney World. So like no stress there.
At the end of the day, you are still in Disney World.
So true. So true.
All right. So, with that disclaimer out of the way, so we're gonna give like an itinerary more geared towards folks without kids, but give a couple of suggestions for if you do have kids along the way, and then a more kid centric one. So, for folks without kids, I feel like the obvious answer for park for date night is Epcot.
Mhm.
I feel like there is no question on that one. There's just such a variety of dining options and also little trinkets because who doesn't love to buy a little trinket on a date? So it just really lends itself to a fun and romantic evening. So if sit down dining is your preference, you will probably want to try to snag a reservation in advance. Le Cellier, which is the steakhouse in Canada, is always a go-to recommendation. If you've been there during the Food and Wine Festival and you've had the little steak a portion in the Canada Pavilion, it's the same steak that they serve in Cellier, just slightly less en masse, but only slightly. Um, Teppan Edo is another good sit-down restaurant in Japan, if that is your vibe. Chefs de France is one that gets commonly recommended, but this is one that I have not heard positive things about post-pandemic. So, listen, I mean, that's like a make your judgment call, whatever will fit with you the rest of your itinerary. But between the three, we would recommend Le Cellier and Teppan Edo over Chefs de France. Now, as I alluded to before, alternatively, there's always festivals in Epcot. So if you don't want to sit down, like if you guys are more like a sampling plate appetizer type of couple, it's a food and wine festival. It goes on for like 3 quarters of the year now.
Right? It's
There's
so
there's like
long. Mhm.
and it's their best festival, so I don't know why they don't just make it a
Right.
full year, like, whatever. Not to take away from Festival of the Arts or Flow Grow or anything like that, because I love all of the festivals in Epcot. But they're all basically food and wine festivals with different flair.
Right. Yeah.
So there's if like sampling is your vibe, that is also a fantastic date night alternative to just go for a nice walk, stroll around Disney, take in the sights, feel the vibes, and sample a bunch of food from all around the world.
Mhm. Yeah. Now I know that we're talking primarily about doing Epcot with no kids. However, I do want to just briefly give an alternative option. If you end up with kiddos and you end up wanting to go to Epcot because you're wanting to do the snack around the world option, which I love that option. That's what we usually do anyway. When we're at Epcot regardless. Um,
Absolutely.
this is a great time to take advantage of the scavenger hunts that frequently happen at Epcot. Each festival we've talked about before, but they have a unique one. And there are also ones for holidays, such as like Easter and Christmas, will have different scavenger hunts that you can do. These are great distractions for your kiddos because it will give them something to do so you don't feel like you're super rushed if you're trying to enjoy your food and beverage. So, highly recommend setting that up and getting that kind of going if you are going to be snacking around the world and your kiddos are going to end up with you. Um, Alternatively, if you don't want to do the scavenger hunt, they're like $10, I think, to do the scavenger hunt. So if you're like, "No, I don't really wanna do that," and you have an older kiddo that is, like, tech savvy enough to navigate basic phone communication.
Girls are tech savvy enough to navigate basic phones at this point.
My 9-year-old could probably, my 7-year-old could probably not. So, like, depending on your kiddo and depending on their their, uh, their ability to screen, you
Yep.
can give them a device and send them off to do the DuckTales adventure on the Play Disney app. So that is a really great option as well, and the reason I say tech savvy is because you have to have the Play Disney app downloaded to be able to load it. It's not in every country. I think there's 5 countries, if I remember correctly, that have the DuckTales adventure, but they can be doing that within your site as you are standing and enjoying your food. So even if it's not something that you're comfortable, like, sending them off on their own to do it and come back, many of the countries, you can stand kind of at the, like, entrance to the pavilion, if that kinda makes sense, and still see them as they are exploring the game. So, 2 alternative options if you are choosing the snack around the world. I highly suggest one or the other or both. The DuckTales is completely free. Highly suggest that. It's a super fun activity for them to do, so that way you can take all the time you want to enjoying your food and beverage.
It's also fun if you're adults and you play a game where so what we do is it's for food and wine, it's Remy's hide and squeak because that's usually when we're down there. Whoever finds Remy first in that pavilion, the other person has to buy them the snack or treat that they want from that pavilion.
I love that. That's amazing. That is, like, top tier date night. I
So
love that.
I'm just I'm just saying that's also a very fun date night idea.
Yeah. Although you gotta make sure it's even playing field because, like, if I tried to do that with Andrew, I feel like he would be very upset with me because he would have no idea where they are, and I've seen them all so often that I, like, would know immediately because they don't typically change very much year to year. They're usually in the same spot. Every once in a while, you get them to mix it up, but generally speaking, they're in the same spot, so I feel like he'd be very sad if I told him to do that. He'd just be buying all night. Sorry, not sorry.
So what is be strategy, Anna? Let him win like one or two.
Give him that false sense of security
Alright,
in the game
so
we're playing.
exactly. And then destroy him, be like, "Oh, I can't believe you found the first 2. Anyway, here's the next 7."
He'd be like, "What? Okay." It'd be fine. Most of our money comes from the same account anyway. It really truly doesn't matter. Anyway, moving on.
That's pretty true, uh-huh. Alright, so, once you have your dinner plan set, be that just snack here in the world or your sit-down dinner, we always recommend try to find a memorable souvenir, right? Now that can be something big or something small. We have a couple of suggestions. So I'm a big fragrance person. I love perfumes and body sprays, colognes. I love it all. I have a problematically sized collection. It's just taken over my half of the dresser. So, I really like when we go on vacation to buy a scent that I will then wear for the rest of the vacation and whenever we go back to that location, so that I will always have like that scent memory of that perfume that I was wearing while we were there. So that's a really fun, if that's like your jam too, there's plenty of perfume shops all around the World Showcase. So, in the UK pavilion, there is a company called Penhalions that has a small stand, and I believe it's called Lords and Ladies. If you've ever seen perfume bottles with an animal head on it, they're like super trendy right now. It's Penhalions. There is a bunch of, like I said, a bunch of other locations. 2 ones that we usually stop into are in the in the France pavilion. There's a few, shops in there that sell, French designer perfumes, things like Dior and Givenchy, and then in the Italy pavilion, it's the same idea where they sell Italian designer perfumes, so like Acqua di Parma and Valentino.
I had no
Oh,
idea.
and
No idea
and
there were
France.
that many fancy perfumes at EPCOT. Who knew?
There are some and, like,
Even Norway has
yes, Norway had
a little perfume
mhm.
section too, yeah.
Yeah, in the gift shop. Most of the, pavilions have, like, a small selection, but, The UK has the whole Penhalion section, like I was saying. I think they have another brand in there too now. I can't remember what it was. And of course, because Italy and France have like so many designer brands out of there, it makes sense that they have just like small displays for every brand. But they have like I was looking at the website just to double check. I think there's something like over 70 different brands in the France pavilion. It is a shocking amount of perfumes that they have in there. And they have plenty of testers. The folks that, of course, the cast members that work in there are wonderful and very knowledgeable if you have any questions.
That's so cool. I love that idea.
Hooray. Perfume. I'm recruiting more people to the cult of perfume. So if perfumes aren't your jam, but you still want something small and memorable, the Mexico Pavilion does have a stand right outside of the cantina where you can get engraved rings. And honestly, who doesn't want to be bought a ring? I'm just saying, it's a very romantic evening is getting a custom engraved ring. Just saying.
And I feel like it's never very busy over there, which is surprising. And it doesn't take very long. Like I got nachos from the cantina and like it was way too packed inside. So I like walked around and I found a
Yep.
little like corner of a bench that was like right by that stand. And like as I was sitting there, I like was watching the guy do it and he was so fast at it too. That like it really doesn't take
Yes.
very long. I was like, that's super impressive.
Mhm. Yeah, I think so we haven't gotten it, but I've sat there and watched them do it. The quickest I've seen them do it is like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
They say on the site, if you look it up, it can be up to 2 hours, but I've never seen it be more than like a half hour on like a real busy day. They're very quick and they're very good at what they do over there.
Yeah. It's super cool. I love that idea too.
So, once you have your ring and your perfume, and you've spent a shocking amount of money on miscellaneous souvenirs from all around Epcot, of course, assuming you're in the park in the evening, you're going to want to watch the fireworks while holding hands, right? Adorable, romantic ending to the evening. I'm a big dessert person. So we recommend grabbing some ice cream. It's Artisans de Glace in the France Pavilion is really good. Just to have a nice little sweet treat while you're enjoying the fireworks.
I also really love the gelato booth in the Italy pavilion too. Highly
I
recommend.
always forget that's there. Yeah.
Well,
No, that's a good.
I don't know when it happened that they expanded it because for years and years and years, it was just like one of those little tiny carts. And then just noticed it one of my last trips in the last year or two that I was like, oh my gosh, it's like a full, like permanent booth now in the Italy pavilion where you can get your gelato. And I was like, I love that for them. That's so good. But yeah, gelato is always a good thing. And I like the gelato because I like that stretch of that side of World Showcase to watch the fireworks too.
Oh yeah,
I like
that's a good point.
the location because if you can find a spot along the water there, you have a good view of I like to be able to see Spaceship Earth when I watch my fireworks at Epcot, and you can see it because you're far enough around, it's a really good spot for fireworks viewing. So I like that it's like within a quick walk. So like you can scope out your spot and then like I can send hubby to go get me gelato and bring it back to me in our spot while I just like hang out and wait.
No, that is a good point. We always so it's just by nature of the way that we do our Epcot days, we end up over by either the UK pavilion or Canada for fireworks, right? Because we're just spending the whole day going around. So, like, by the end, we end up there. And, like, you're right, that is a much better spot to watch the fireworks from. But, like, I'm 30,000 steps in. I'm not walking back to the other side of World Showcase. It's not happening. But that is also a very good idea. You know what? Maybe next time we'll plan it so we can get some tasty, tasty gelato because I love me some gelato.
Yeah, you have to actively plan because you're right. It's not if you're doing a loop and planning to end your loop around fireworks time, it's not convenient. It's not a convenient location in World Showcase. So you do have to kind of plan accordingly or be willing to walk a little bit of extra backtracking to get there. So
Yeah.
for sure. All right. So I think that is kind of our general best situation, best suggestions for Epcot with no children. But what if we're stuck with our kids?
You are stuck with your kids. Well, go away.
They won't leave us alone. What can we do?
Every 3 seconds, they're asking for things.
Constant. It's just constant. Okay, so if we have children with us, What suggestions do you guys have for a quote unquote date night with our children?
Step one, leave them at the lost center, right? Here, I found this. I found it.
Can you just hang on to it for a little while?
I found them. I wish for them to be lost.
All right. No, but seriously, please,
For legal reasons now, so
yes, please don't do not leave your children at the lost and found or with guest services or anything. We definitely, if you are doing a Disney date night and you have your kids with you, we would definitely recommend Magic Kingdom because I mean, what else is like the perfect family friendly location in Disney other than Magic Kingdom? So we're gonna also give both like a sit down table service, like dinner recommendation, as well as some quick service options for your NK date night. So right,
Date night in quotes, because it can still be a date night. It's just a little bit. It's a date,
it's
not
not a
with some plus one.
family night. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, a not particularly welcome plus one.
Yeah, it's third, fourth, what, fifth wheels, however many kids you have. I don't know. But so we kind of find the table service in Magic Kingdom is like kind of hit or miss. But we've definitely heard some really great things about Skipper Cantina, so that would be a suggestion. But if you're looking for more like romantic date nighty kind of vibes, I mean, what's more romantic than eating dinner at a castle? So they are a little pricier, but you could always go for Be Our Guest or Cinderella's Royal Table. Not necessarily for like a higher food experience, but more for the vibes and the aesthetics and getting to, dine in Cinderella's castle or the Beast Castle. And we've also heard, or at least I've heard, I don't know about anybody else, but that Tony's Town Square has gotten a lot better, like post COVID.
Yeah.
So we have not tried it in recent years, so I cannot confirm or deny that, but that is just the word on the street. So that might be nice, a little like Italian dinner for you and your family for your little date night. So
That is a consistent thing that I have heard, and that is
Same.
surprising because I feel like the constant feedback is post COVID, X, Y, and Z has gotten worse.
right. And Tono's gotten better.
But like shockingly, everyone's like, I can't believe it was the same food, like the same restaurant. Like people are just blown away by how different and how much better Tony's is. So
Yeah.
I mean, it used to be like joke to recommend Tony's, but it seems like an actual viable option.
Just maybe a recommendation. Yeah. So
Yeah, who knew?
yeah, Brian Cats. Who knew? But if you are just looking for like a quick service option, we kind of like Pinocchio Village House. I feel like it has like something for everybody. You can get your classic chicken fingers if you have those picky eaters, but then there's also like their flatbreads and different things like that. Plus, if you are lucky, you can get a really great view of the boats in Small World while you're eating. So that's kind of a nice view with your dinner.
Dinner and a show.
Dinner and a show, exactly. If you're a Small World fan, I don't know, that wouldn't necessarily be Duck's idea of a good date night, but I got my flatbread pizza. It's fine. And then also, if you wanted, you can enjoy the views of Cinderella Castle while eating at Casey's Corner. They always have like seasonal corn dog nuggets and things like that. So there's always, something fun to try there. And it's something fun for the kiddos, but then also something fun for you as well.
Yeah, I'd like to add Pecos Bill to that list too. I think they're new. I put new in quotes because it's like new menu, but like it's been new for I don't know, maybe a year now. Uh, I don't know. Time is fake. I have no idea when that happened, but their new to
Yes.
right, literally. Their new menu is really, really good. So I would definitely look at that. It's more of like a Mexican, kind of like Chipotle style, because they've got a lot of like bowl theme, like bowl type dishes there. But that would definitely be one that I would consider as well if you're looking for more of a Mexican style vibe.
Yeah, I have to say, we've really liked Pecos Bill anytime we've gone there. They're pretty good. Their service.
It seems that we've gotten exceptionally lucky every time that we've went because I've heard some less than positive things prior to this refurbishment situation.
Yeah.
But I think Scottish
Sure, yeah.
extraordinarily lucky because every time we went, we had like very solid food.
We had the same experience as a family. We went a couple times before the menu change and had like we were fine. But yeah, I've also heard previously friends be like, "Oh no, I got so sick off of their food." So I was like, we got really lucky. Okay, I'm glad we got lucky." But the new menu, I have not heard any concerns or issues with that. So I think they
revamping. I've heard very positive things. We've heard no
Figured it out.
contagious illnesses. Yes.
Yes, love that for them, love that for us, love that for everybody.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, so we've gotten dinner. What are we
Yeah.
doing next?
So we figured out dinner. So now time for souvenirs or fun experiences that you guys want to do as a family. So one thing to do if you're looking for something to splurge on your kiddos for is Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. It, what is better on a family fun night than dressing your kids up like a prince or princess? Definitely would recommend an appointment there.
Yeah, and I will say those can be hard to get. And you really need to consider what time you're gonna be getting your kiddos' stuff done because you really don't wanna do it at, like, 7 p.m. necessarily, unless you know that, like, no, their hair like, they're not a crazy sleeper, their hair's gonna stay till the next day. We can stretch it and get, like, a day and a half out of it, so just keep that in mind when you're trying to schedule those appointments. And the other thing to kind of piggyback along with that is whether or not you do Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, highly suggest you can splurge on a capture your moment photo pass session. So we've talked about these in other episodes before, and they are a 20-minute session for $100. You can have up to 8 people, and it is your location of choice in Magic Kingdom. They have a ton of options that you can choose from, and they do them all the way until about 4 p.m. So I know we were talking post dinner, so we may need to flip flop that depending on what time you eat dinner or what your schedule looks like. But they do them until about 4-ish p.m. depending on the time of year and availability and all that jazz. So you could do something like your morning in Magic Kingdom if you're in the parks all together and then take a break to like freshen up for your date night and either before or after your kids' Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique appointment, and then get your family photos done in the park to kind of like be a fun little start to your date night I would suggest before you do dinner if you've got your kids with you, just because if you're going to Tony's and they're eating pasta with
Yep.
red sauce, I would do your pictures before.
Yep. That's the good old advice.
Yeah.
Going everywhere twice. There's
Right.
just no telling.
Yeah, how about a super fun way to kind of make it a little extra magical night in the parks that feels a little bit more, I don't wanna say elevated because, like, any night you're in Magic Kingdom is, like, magical and special and all of that, but just something a little bit extra special if you wanna book one of those sessions, and you have the option of, like, extending sessions, so if you really wanna splurge and you wanna do, like, back-to-back sessions, all of those options are available, through Disney, so, talk to your travel agent or book online or whatever you need to do for that, but I would suggest looking into maybe saving up a little extra to get some cute little family photos done.
Yeah, and I think that's also why I kind of like the concept of like a date night or a family night or whatever, because it almost gives you permission
Right, to
to
splurge.
to splurge a little bit more, right? Like I feel like Disney vacations are already so expensive and, everything's so expensive anymore, right? And so, I think that a lot of people kind of talk themselves out of these other fun extras. But if you sort of frame it a little bit differently for yourself and it's still within your ability, maybe if you could save a little bit longer or a little bit extra or do one of those like very wonderful Sam's Club gift card deals, right? Something like that. Like if you can swing it, framing it as like a family night or a date night really gives you permission. And I think will let you enjoy certain aspects or like give you exposure to certain things that you would not have chosen to do for yourself otherwise.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So I love the photo idea. I think,
Yeah.
getting to have some memories we talk about over here on Mom Street that it can be hard as parents to like put yourself in the photos and remember to include yourself and your spouse and or your significant other or your partner in photos. So having a photo pass photographer, what can be
Yep.
better than
Yeah.
that?
Takes the guesswork out of it.
Exactly. Yes. So that's my 2 cents for that part.
So some other ideas for some special souvenirs, curtain call collectibles is where you can get ear hats and ears and stuff customized. So you can get them embroidered and that could be a nice special souvenir with maybe like your family's name or something where everybody gets, an ear hat or something with their name. So that is definitely an idea. Also, I mean, they're available other places in Disney as well, but Magic Kingdom has where you can get the little like silhouette portraits and stuff, or like little parasols. So there's a lot of unique little souvenirs and gifts that you can find around Magic Kingdom.
I'm sorry for laughing, but we got one of the family dog and of the silhouette portraits. So we got one of Ruby, and we have one, and my parents have the other one. It's really cute. If you can
Princess Ruby has her own silhouette.
she does.
Stop it. I need to see this. I need you to send me a picture. We might have to post that picture so everybody
Yeah,
can see it.
absolutely. Absolutely. It's the silhouettes are such affordable souvenirs.
Yeah,
Like,
it was cheaper than I thought it would be.
I think it was like $10 to just do the actual outline, and then I forget how much it was with the frame. It was a little bit more, but like
Yes.
a shockingly and relatively inexpensive souvenir.
Okay.
And they're so cute. I mean, listen, they're precious when they're the kids, but when they're the animals, when they're the family pets,
I
are
love
you
it.
kidding me? It's the cutest thing
So
ever.
cute.
It's so
Yep.
cute.
And they can do a lot of those silhouette artists can do like they'll do it off of the photos, right? So like you don't have to take your dog to the park to get it done.
Your eyes don't sneak your dog into this new.
Princess Ruby would not do well in Magic Kingdom.
no,
we
absolutely
would be permabanned from Disney World. Absolutely not.
So they can absolutely do photos, just like make sure it's a good like side
Side view.
profile
Yeah.
style so that way they have something to work off of. But yes, I love that too. I need to get those done for my kids. I feel like that's like my next trip. I need to make sure that that's checked off my list.
There was somebody online who did for their kids, like basically they did a family trip every other year, and so they would do the silhouette portraits like every time that they went, and so it was like a cute little growth chart of the kids as they grew up. And then I started crying at the TikTok, and then I was like, oh no, not the kids growing up.
That's so cute. I love that. Okay, let's move on because we can't keep going down the sappy rabbit hole, or I can't. I can't handle it.
Let's talk about more shopping.
Love shopping. Let's spend money.
What else can we spend money on?
Yes, if you're looking to spend a lot of money, you can go to Uptown Jewelers. That is basically where you can get any like Pandora bracelets and charms, any other like higher end jewelry, like watches, things like that. Dooney and Burke bags, any higher end items that you might want. So definitely the place to go if you're looking for something special for your spouse or your kids.
They have that like $30,000 crystal castle if you're really feeling crazy.
Why?
Anything you're looking to splurge on, you can find there. So
We call that the fancy store.
yeah. Yep, that's where you go in, you window shop, and then you walk right out.
Exactly.
Not true. I have bought you Pandora
You
charms.
have bought the Pandora charms. Yeah.
That's the top of the budget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like that's like the most affordable items
Yeah,
in there.
right.
Some of the jewelry and the
Yeah, some of it's not
charms.
And occasionally you get lucky with the Dooney and Burks too. Like it depends on like the material and the pattern. Like those prices will round a little bit, but the Dooney and Burks are like for a bag, not so bad.
Yeah, right. Usually I just stare longingly. Fine.
You can listen. Hey, you got that haunted man. I got you that haunted mansion one from the cast or from
That
the
is true.
outlet. That one.
Yeah.
They show up occasionally at the outlets.
Do you get them? I get them and lounge flies at my outlet sometimes, and it's like most of the time they're still not in my price range, even though they're like 70% off. I'm still like, nope, can't do it. Still can't afford it.
A little wristlet, so it was like, yeah, totally affordable.
Yes,
But
yes. The smaller the bag, the more likely it is to be in my price range.
Yes, the more within budget it becomes. Yes, yes.
Exactly. Yes. Okay. Now that we've done our shopping,
yep, we've spent a lot of money. We've had some good dinner. Now, obviously, time for sweet treat. So, our recommendation, or well, my recommendation, is a classic Disney Dole Whip because who doesn't love a Dole Whip? And I know we said we're not really talking. Well, you're allergic to them.
They would kill me, so I don't like it.
yeah, don't do that. Well, you can do the non-pineapple ones, right? Like they have like orange and some of the other flavors.
Yes. I'll do the orange, or actually I'll do a Coke float most of the time with chocolate ice cream. It slaps when it's like 112 out.
Oh yeah,
Let me tell you, the Coke float with chocolate ice cream, it's the way to go.
love it.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you have someone allergic to pineapple or who doesn't like Dole Whip, get through.
That I like the look that you gave me on that one. But continue.
Stop at Sunshine Street Terrace on your way to Aloha Isle. Get that person whatever it is that they would like that is not pineapple flavor. Pick up some Dole Whip. And then I know we're not talking about rides, but the Tiki Room is technically a show. And nothing beats eating a Dole Whip or drinking a Coke float and sitting in the Tiki Room watching the birds.
It's healed me.
So
You know those things that are like, turns out I didn't need therapy. I just needed a Disney World trip. That like those moments for me occur while I'm drinking a Coke float in the Tiki Room. Like I'm being so serious.
Yep.
I should also probably attend therapy, but that's like a different conversation. That's a different talk.
Yeah, my moment for that is now that the new Starlight Parade is out, just give me the parade. Just give me the parade.
Yep.
that's true.
Very fair.
That's all I need in life is just stand wherever in Magic Kingdom that I can see the parade and hear the music. And I'm good. I'm good. I'm good for like months after that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Isn't it crazy what serotonin can do? It's wild.
Right? It's almost like I wish my body would do that naturally and it doesn't. It's fine.
Okay. This is fine.
This is fine. This is fine. Okay. So after we got our sweet treat and went to watch the birds in the Tiki Room, what else do we suggest?
You can also, if ice cream adjacent treats and the Tiki Room are not your thing, we're really judging you. But you can also
You're wrong.
you can also go to the churro cart in the hub, get whatever specialty churro they're offering at the moment, and watch Happily Ever After fireworks with your family while holding your partner's hand. Because what could be more romantic than crying to Happily Ever After?
Those moments are like what some of these date night, quote unquote, family night things can be is like photos and just like special little memories and moments. And, on our last trip that we took, my kids like the fireworks. They don't love being like in the hub, in the crazy, like it's very overstimulating. And we were coming off like a 10-day long trip. We were very fortunate to have a very long family trip last time we went all together. And Stevie and her husband were there with us, and we all ran to grab Dole Whip, and then we ran over to the boardwalk in front of Tiana's and stood over there and just like had all the space in the world. And I've got like videos of my daughter just like spinning and dancing to the fireworks, and we're just all like chilling and eating our Dole Whip, and just like moments like that where like they're not necessarily forced, but they're just kind of organic. But you like take the moment to stop and like recognize it in the moment is just like it's just like
Yeah.
the cherry on top of like the best Disney day,
Absolutely.
I love it. Okay, sorry, I'm done being sappy now. Let's talk about what else we can talk about date night.
This is your platform to be sappy. This is your podcast. If you want to be sappy, you be sappy.
This is true. This is very true. All right, we have wrapped up our Magic Kingdom, right? I think that was our suggestions for Magic Kingdom now that we've all been like crying. Okay, let's talk about something completely different. What can we do? What else can we do for date night? Tell us.
So, this is a retooling of the monorail bar crawl, honestly. This is what sort of was the inspiration here, right?
Love it.
So this is built with the solo couple in mind because it really lets you take your time to indulge in a couple of different locations. You could also turn it into a bar crawl at the same time. I'm not here to judge what anybody's decisions are. But also like if you need to, I said this at the top, right? Like if you just need to take inspiration, shorten it, lengthen it, whatever it may be, if it doesn't fit into your plans, just a handful of suggestions. So again, this was inspired by the bar crawl, the monorail bar crawl. So the obvious place to start is, of course, pre-dinner drinks. Listen, I know that's like a foreign concept to a lot of parents, but there was a time long ago where in the before so where you drink before dinner. And this may be an option once more on this date night.
This is true.
So the obvious place to suggest to start is, of course, probably the most famous bar in Disney World. It's Trader Sam's, right? It's in the Poly. Sam's can be a long wait though. As fun as it is, as cool as it is, the reality is if you have a timer on that babysitter or maybe you're just exhausted after your trip and you need to like tweak that a little bit, and you can't get into Sam's, there's also the cocktails, mocktails, and appetizers available at Tambu Lounge in the Poly. So that's also like a perfectly popular, perfectly I almost said serviceable, but like that makes it sound like it's just an okay bar. It's actually a really popular bar. So you can always stop at Tambu instead if you can't get into Trader Sam's. Now, again, following the monorail idea here, we're going to go to the Grand Floridian. So there are a shocking amount of dinner options at the Grand Floridian, like more than I think I ever really remember. I haven't been. They won't let me in. I'm simply not in the tax bracket for the Grand Floridian. However,
Same. Same.
yeah, and so I just like I it's sort of like a myth, right? Like I know it exists, but I've never been there, and I don't know that I will.
I've
But there's
visited
like
the lobby and felt like I overstayed my welcome being there like 5 minutes. So
yeah, I feel like if I was in a even lower tax bracket, they would just like drop a shade over my eyes when we pass by it on the bus. So it's like I'm not even allowed to even look at. Yeah, they're just gonna drop "Go Away Green" in front of my eyeballs. And I'm not gonna be able to see it. Hey, yeah, that's it. Not allowed. So, if perhaps you make slightly more money than anybody on this podcast, and they permit you to look at the Grand Floridian, there's like 812 dining options here. Some of them are more affordable. Some of them are literally a Michelin starred restaurant. So there's quite a level of variety. I threw three on here as just to give you a couple options. So the affordable would be the Grand Floridian Cafe. That's like a very not it's not quick service, but it's almost like a quick servicey type vibe, right? Like it's just very in and out. So, if you're just looking for something quick, or something on the lower end of the price spectrum, that's probably your best bet. There's also an extremely well reviewed Narcoossee's. A lot of people have a lot of positive things to say about this. This is a really good one for like a romantic evening if you have the like I was saying, a little bit more time to indulge in this date night dinner, because it overlooks the lagoon. It's like a seafood type restaurant, so you get like to overlook the lagoon, and it's like very much like a Florida seafood restaurant, high end seafood restaurant. Like if that's what you're picturing, that's what it is, truly. And then if taxes aren't a concern to you, there is Victoria and Albert's, which is the Michelin starred restaurant. It is my dream to eat there one day. I am like fanatical about this place. It seems so good and it seems so unattainable, but one day it will happen. One day.
Start saving. Yeah, mine makes you have a dress code at
Oh,
Cellier and Albert, so you
good
can
one.
just go in your like parked attire.
Much like how dare they? If I'm paying all that money,
right.
I should show them how I want.
Several of those top tier restaurants do. So keep that in mind.
Yes. Yep. Nope. That's a really good point. I completely forgot to mention the dress code.
Yeah, I don't know if everyone brings a dinner jacket to Disney World, so
I do know that any restaurant that has that style of dress code, it will be listed on the Disney website. So when you are doing your research, you should come across that information.
yeah.
If
They make
you are
pretty
reading, yes, like it very clearly will say, like, "Hey, your swimwear is not welcome here."
Yeah. Yeah. Please no flip flop.
Right. Exactly. So
Oh yeah.
yes.
All right. So once you have, if you were permitted within the grounds of Grand Floridian, once you've had your dinner there, to continue on with the theme of the monorail crawl, if you have an annual pass, or if you were at Magic Kingdom earlier that day and you can re-enter, this is the perfect opportunity to just go pop in, grab some dessert, perhaps even watch some fireworks while you're in there. If you don't have annual pass or you weren't in Magic Kingdom, you can continue on the monorail to the Contemporary. We suggest, if this is going to be your like final stop of the evening and you are interested in the fireworks and dessert, there is a package. It functions just as any other dessert party does in Disney. So you have to like reserve the tickets so far in advance. I think is it also 60 days for those dessert party tickets?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so they'll open up in the same window as the rest of your reservations. And this lets you get to literally the top of the Contemporary, and it's a dessert party. It's got, I think it does also offer alcohol. So if you're over 21, you can indulge in that. It's like some champagne, things like that, as well as like a dessert bar, and you can watch the fireworks from the Contemporary.
Yeah, just a side note, and this is just for the real ones that are listening to the podcast because this is not very well publicized. But if you don't want to spend the more significant amount to do the celebration at the top dessert party,
200? I think it was like 200 the last I
yeah,
heard.
I think
Yeah.
um you can just grab drinks or some appetizers at the bar at California Grill, which is the restaurant that is at the top of the Contemporary. Keep your receipt. They open at 5, so anytime from 5 o'clock on, keep your receipt, and that will gain you access to their rooftop patio for fireworks viewing. Doesn't matter if you ate there during fireworks or not. You could go there right at 5 o'clock, grab a couple drinks at the bar, continue your way around the monorail.
I was saying,
You should. You totally right. Yeah, yeah. You could go Cali Grill for drinks, still Grand Flirting for dinner, dessert at the Poly, and then loop your way back to the Contemporary. But you can gain access to that same rooftop patio. It's big enough that like they section off the dessert party, obviously, because they don't want random people like walking into the dessert party and partaking. But there is a section.
just reach over the velvet.
I come to you, my mom just go scooch on in right here and grab one of those.
If you don't mind, thank you.
That brownie looks delectable. Thank you. But you can gain access to their rooftop patio for fireworks viewing. Again, that's not like a super well known little thing. So, like, that's not something we're going to make like videos about. It's just going to exist in minute
Yeah.
40 whatever of this podcast
No. Yeah.
for people to find out. So, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Giving all the secrets and then we get canceled on the internet. It'll be fine.
Who would cancel somebody wearing berries?
This is so true. This is so true.
I'm too cute to be canceled.
This is so true. This is so true.
100% it. Good answer.
Okay, so all right, enough of our secrets.
So, alternatively, what is like because we're still, I know it's been like 45 minutes since we brought up the fact that this is still for a date night, but
On the monorail loop, right? That's what we're talking about.
well, back to reality for a second. So it is still on the monorail, but if you can, as we were talking about, like some splurge items for this like romantic date night type idea, um, I have heard good things about the spa treatments that are available at the Grand Floridian. So if it is within your budget, it is probably a welcome treat for you and your partner to go enjoy some relaxing spa day activities at the Grand Floridian. You can enjoy dinner there, or you can then hop on the monorail and go to any of the other ones. Maybe you'll get some drinks at the Poly, hang out at Trader Sam's, order some stuff at Tambu Lounge, or head over to the Contemporary. So there are, again, like mix and match options for like a date night type of idea there. The other thing that I wanted to bring up was when we were talking about the fireworks, was the Poly Beach. Poly Beach is also a good option for watching fireworks, depending on where you're starting or ending on the monorail loop. If you weren't going to head over to Contemporary, maybe you were just keeping it between the Grand Floridian and the Poly. The Poly Beach is an excellent spot to watch fireworks, and they pipe in the music right to the beach.
Yeah, I have done that a couple times. It's really nice. But do note that during really busy holiday times, they do sometimes close down the beach to only guests that are staying at the resort. So
Yes.
have a backup plan. If you know you're going like during like Christmas and holidays, absolutely not. You cannot use the Poly Beach, unfortunately. I hate to break it to you. During some like spring break, Easter times, also that happens. I did it years ago for 4th of July and didn't have a problem, but I don't know now if that is a holiday that they close it off of. So just keep in mind that holidays, you may or may not have luck with doing that because they will like ask to see your like to scan your room key basically to prove that you can like go out and watch at the beach. So again, just keep that in mind. And it is a fairly popular spot for guests that are staying at the resort. So it's not like you're going to be alone on the beach. There, you're gonna have to fight for some territory to make sure that you can see the fireworks and everything. And you'll get to see like the little like teeny tiny top turret of the castle, and then the fireworks. And you'll get to see Tink. So if Tink flying across the sky matters, you can see her from the Poly too.
What fun.
I like it.
All right. So if you are not interested in the monorail crawl, which I don't know why you wouldn't be in any sense, if maybe the Grand Floridian kicked you out so hard that you wound up on the other end of Disney property. If you are just interested in a dinner, maybe your time is really limited. Maybe it's all that you could work into your budget, or your time frame is just like a romantic dinner, and you wanted to keep it kind of like within the parks properties. You didn't really want to venture over to Disney Springs. Jico over at Animal Kingdom Lodge is a top recommendation. Anytime you look up like Disney dining recommendations or like hidden gems at Disney, there will always be somebody bringing up Chico in the thread. And it's super easy to see why. It is, first off, Animal Kingdom Lodge is beautiful. Like point blank period, it is a gorgeous property. So that is just always fun to visit. So it's a unique dining experience in that the menu features a lot of food that takes inspiration from a variety of African countries. And it ranges from wild game. For example, I was looking up the menu before. It rotates somewhat. So there was like wild boar on the menu, but there's also like more familiar things like chicken, but that are prepared in a traditional way. Again, like through a variety of countries. So it's like basically everything from like South Africa all the way up to Morocco. There's a bunch of representation across the continent of Africa. So it is a really beautiful location with some really interesting and unique food that you may not have access to wherever you are visiting from.
Yeah, and if you're over there in the evening time, obviously, if you're there during the daytime, they have a lot of like Savannah view walkways that you can take out the like backside of the resort on whichever part of the resort that you're in. But if you have a little bit of extra time, maybe after dinner, that you still have a sitter, but you like don't want to go somewhere else after you've done dinner, you can look into the Starlight Safari offering that they have over there. And I totally forgot that they did this until I was like looking up other stuff at Animal Kingdom Lodge because I was like, I feel like they have something for like nighttime viewing of the animals or something. And so I came across this. I was like, oh, right. So this is an hour long nighttime safari that you literally get into like a smaller version of the safari vehicles from Animal Kingdom. It is $89 per person, and it is just a nighttime look at many of your favorite safari animals. It typically departs Animal Kingdom Lodge at like an 8:30 and then like a 10 o'clock. So you gotta time it accordingly with your dinner and all that type of thing because you don't want to be late for that if you do reserve it. But definitely something to consider as like a fun little date night adventure after you have maybe had some lovely dinner at Jico, then you're right there. So definitely another option to look into if you have some an extra hour that you'd like to do something with.
Yeah. No, I completely forgot that they did that because they ran it on a limited basis, like pre-COVID, and then post-COVID for a little while, they just, like, understandably totally did away with it. I forgot that they had brought it back, like, last year maybe or even the year before.
I don't
Hasn't been that long.
remember. And I will say that it may not be something that is offered consistently every single week, every single month. You may have to look around and check availability for that. But I looked out a little bit, like, because I was just clicking around on the website today because I wanted to see. And it was offered for most of the summer and into the fall too. So
Oh, nice.
yeah.
Cool.
On to our last suggestion, which is I feel like the classic Disney date night, which is a Disney Springs night. So me and Duck always do a Disney Springs date night every time we go to Disney. It is honestly our favorite. And because they just have so many different things to do, right? There's over 100 shopping and dining options. There are different experiences. There's a dine-in movie theater. There's a bowling alley. They even have a House of Blues, right? You can go see a concert if tickets are available and it's something you're interested in. They have Cirque du Soleil, right? Like, there's just like so many different things to do at Disney Springs, that I think it makes it the perfect date night. Plus, it's free to get into Disney Springs, so it's a nice way to have a date night without buying, extra park admission or anything like that.
Yeah, then you can spend that money on things in Disney
Mm.
Springs. They know what they're doing, and it works every time.
Yeah. Also, the other nice thing about Disney Springs is if you are on property, Disney transportation runs to Disney Springs. So you don't have to worry
Yeah.
about driving yourself, so you can be safe and intelligent about your decisions.
Yep.
Yes.
You can
Consume responsibly.
smartly indulge. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So, that being said, thinking about dinner reservations or where you would like to eat for dinner, our personal favorite place to go is Morimoto Asia. We make a reservation and eat there basically anytime we go to Disney. They have all your favorites. Everything from pad thai to sushi is on their menu. Their drinks are like out of this world. Delicious.
Their cocktails,
So good.
if that's your thing, they slap. They're so good. And I've heard really good things about their mocktails too.
There are, of course, a million and one other table service restaurants that you can dine at as well. Chef Art Smith's Homecoming is one that is often talked about. Raglan Road, if you want dinner and a show, they do have the live Irish music and like step dancing and everything. So that is a lot of fun. Wine Bar George is really great as well. And that's just like 3 or 4 of the many restaurants that you can eat at in Disney Springs.
I love Wine Bar George. If your vibe is like drinks and apps for a date night, that's
Mhm.
totally the way to go because shareables is their whole thing there. Um, I actually went there. This the only place in Disney I have been without Jess, actually. We had a work conference down in Orlando, and so we as a team went out to dinner to Wine Bar George. And I'm like, "Oh, man, we gotta work this into the Disney Springs rotation somehow," because it was really good. I was very impressed with it. I've always heard good things, but it was really believe the hype, people. Wine Bar George is really good.
That's amazing. I know my sister and her husband love to do Raglan Road because they've taken trips to Ireland and it's like a fun little like trip back to, pseudo back to what they experienced when they were there. So I know there's lots of those types of restaurants, I think, because you have such a wide variety there that
Mhm.
you can find pretty much anything you're looking for within Disney Springs.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's Italian, there's everything, there's even, like, more like, quick servicey kinda options, right? There's, like, chicken guy and, roast sandwich and, like, all like, you're so if you're just looking for, like, a quick dinner and then to, like, walk around and do experiences at Disney Springs, like, you can easily, do that as well.
I love Earl of Sandwich, but please be aware it can take some time
Oh,
for
yeah.
you to receive your sandwich. The Earl does not work on anyone else's timetable but his own. You are getting that sandwich when you get that sandwich, so just be prepared.
That might be a uniquely, like, breakfast problem because I think we were gone at, like, lunchtime and dinner time and not really had an issue, but breakfast last time we were there was a doozy.
It's like 45 minutes for
Yeah,
breakfast
there
there.
was that was late. Wow.
Yeah,
It was late.
was not thrilled.
Yeah.
It was delicious. So, like, but actually, because then I was getting hangry and it wasn't going good. Once I got fed, it was fine, you know?
Right. All right. So you've had your dinner wherever you've chosen to eat. So now time to choose what you would like to do for the rest of your evening. Maybe shopping is your thing. Spending money is definitely our thing. We're allergic to saving money.
It's my favorite hobby, honestly.
And there is shopping for everybody in Disney Springs, right? There's everything from like a Lego store, the World of Disney store, stores like Kate Spade or like Lily Pulitzer, Oakley, Uniqlo, right? So there's so many different varieties. And then there are like the specific Disney like merchandise shops. So like World of Disney. There is the Marketplace Co-op. There is Disney Style, right? So all different stores that are selling Disney merchandise. And then of course there's things like a Christmas shop, Art of Disney, and the Arias Brothers Crystal Shop as well if you're looking for like a special item to purchase.
Yeah, and also just to note before we move on to, other things that you can do in Springs, most of the stores that we listed, like the clothing stores, a bunch of them have collections that are actually unique to Disney Springs. In fact, I'm wearing a t-shirt from Uniqlo that I had gotten in Disney Springs. And at the time, I think it still is. It's a design that's only available in Disney Springs. And so Uniqlo is real good for that. They have probably a rotating cast of like 20 shirts that are unique to Disney Springs. I know Kate Spade occasionally has like wristlets or accessory charms that are unique to Springs. So that's even if it's a designer that you're familiar with and you're like, oh no, like I have that at home. Just if you like them, poke your head in. Just
Yeah.
see if they have anything unique to Springs.
Yeah, because definitely if there's a Disney collection, they will have it featured there pretty prominently, even if it's not like exclusive, but it'll be there.
I love it. Okay. Yeah.
Right.
What else can we do at Disney Springs? Please tell us. I would love to know.
Yes. Other things. So, like I said before, there are a whole lot of experiences at Disney Springs as well. So, there are things like the AMC Dine-In Theater. So, maybe you could catch a movie.
Heartbreak feels good in a place like that.
Heartbreak does feel good at a place like this. So if you're a really big Walt Disney fan,
And who isn't?
yeah, there is the Cirque du Soleil show. You can go bowling at Splitsville, or you can take a tour of the lake in a vintage imp car, which is fascinating. So
Honestly, extremely fun to watch. That's just even like watch from a distance because people are not ready for that car to go in the water. And then the amount of tourists that like I see hanging out there that'll they're dropping into the lake and then they like launch full speed into the lake and they're like the car is swimming. It's so good. It's so good, dude. So good.
Yeah. So they also have the
run freak out.
they also have the hot air balloon. Thank you. You knew exactly what I was doing with that mission. They had like a delegation.
Yep. So God is just like a few of the experiences too that you can have at Disney Springs. So a nice little dinner and then event and perfect date night. So once you have had your dinner, gone shopping and or done whatever experience you had planned for the night, obviously again time for dessert to end the night. Who doesn't love a sweet treat? So we definitely recommend cookies from Gideon's Bakehouse. It is our absolute favorite. The cookies are like, I think it's half a pound, right? Just pure deliciousness. And it's definitely well worth whatever wait that you will wait in line to get them. I mean, typically you can find like a pretty decent line, but like even if it's like halfway around the block, wait is worth it.
Not only is it worth it, they go quick.
They do.
They really have gotten the line management. Disney, take some notes because they have line management down to a science.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. So it's worth the wait.
Mhm.
And you're on a date. You want to chit chat. You want to have some fun. So, just sitting and having a little chat in line while you're eating the delicious cookies never hurt anybody.
And plus the theming in Gideon's is super cute if you're into like spooky, cute stuff. Like that's like our vibe. So it's like perfect for us. Also they have hot cookie hour. I forget exactly what time they do. It's like an hour or so or 8 o'clock, like
2 to 3 and 7 to 8.
perfect. So if you can get in there between those hours, you can get cookies with some ice cream. And that's even more magical and special.
Yeah.
than
And I
anything.
will say maybe not for evening time, but there maybe for like grab it for the at the nighttime to drink the next morning. Their cold brews are so good.
Yep.
They taste
Shocking.
they have
Yeah.
a peanut butter cold brew that is delicious, and they have a cookies and cream one that literally tastes like melted cookies and cream ice cream in the best possible way.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the most delicious.
It's my favorite
juice
coffee I've ever had my entire life.
Yes, it's unbelievable. It is like a photorealistic cookies and cream batter. Like it's crazy. It's really like their flavors are down to a science in a way that's extremely impressive. Like even cookies sometimes, right? You have it described as X, Y, and Z flavor, and you're like, okay, I kind of get that, right? But like Gideon's comes up with some wacky flavors. They're all delicious and they all taste exactly as described. I mean, it's really you can never go wrong with Gideon's. Truly, it is my favorite treat, and we usually do our date night the night that we land, so then we can stock up on Gideon's and have Gideon's for the rest of the trip.
That is broadness. The rest of it just is it Disney World salaries are not real.
Steak.
Right.
No, I'm gonna go hug a mouse. All right.
And I will say, if you are not a fan of like the underbaked, almost not baked enough style cookie, Gideon's may not be your vibe because they are known
Yeah.
for that real gooey center, kind of almost
They're like
underbaked.
they're like take
Right. Yes, his gives were cakey than underbaked.
yeah,
So like it could be
because they
be okay.
they do not to blow the lid wide open on Gideon, but they use
Versus spilling all kinds of tea on here.
they use cake flour in their cookies. I think it's like half all-purpose flour, a quarter of cake flour, and a quarter rye flour, or something like that. There's Justine Cooks is a fantastic food content creator. Shout out to Justine if you ever see this. Just some unknown reason. No, but she A slaps and B reverse engineered the Gideon's cookie recipe, and it is spot on. It's incredible. So if you're freakazoids like us and you want to eat Gideon's at home because you can't wait until your next Disney trip, it is actually a shockingly approachable recipe. Please continue.
So I'm gonna need you to send me that.
Yep.
Cool.
I
Cool.
got you.
Gotcha. Awesome. Okay. Yes. Okay. So if we're not getting Gideon's, what are our other choices?
If we're not getting Gideon's, what's wrong with you? But
Exit out the EPCOT. That's it. Walk into the ocean.
stop now.
No, it's a very normal condemnation. Please don't actually do that. But continue.
All right. So if you're not getting Gideon's, we're not sentencing you to death. That is not what's happening here.
I want that on a t-shirt. Give me Gideon's or I will kill you.
I thought you were gonna say, "Give me Gideon's or give me death."
I was going to, and then I was like, I gotta do because that's trademark. Like, you can say it. I don't want to get canceled again. I just I'm too cute to be canceled. All right, I'm listening. Let's keep it right. So I developed it.
There are obviously a lot of other dessert options in Disney Springs as well. There is Amaret's Patisserie for classic like pastries and cakes and things like that. Everly's Donuts has a variety of donut options. Salt and Straw is like an ice cream option. And then there's also multiple churro carts and a Dole Whip stand if you want your classic Disney desserts. But definitely you're in Springs, might as well go for something a little bit more special and unique. So, I mean, these are just a few of the many options that there are around the park or around Disney Springs. So definitely take a look and see what might be your pick for a date night.
Yeah, Salt and Straw has wild ice cream flavors, so like be prepared. They have like a Thanksgiving dinner flavor and like a cornbread flavor. Like it's wild. So like don't assume that it's going to be just normal flavors.
Yeah. Yeah. They're all pretty
But that's
wild.
like fun for date night is like, let me try something really wacky and weird. So at least that's like our vibe. It kind of fits. So
I, for one, am not wacky and or weird.
not in this hour and whatever have been wacky or weird.
I'm violently milquetoast. I'm the most normal person anybody's ever encountered. I'm famously normal.
Yeah, totally.
Whatever it is.
So, folks,
Oh my gosh. Well, after we have divulged into chaos here, that is the end of our episode.
Yeah, that's all we got.
But we do hope that this gave you some good ideas for possible date night, family night, exciting events that you can do at Walt Disney World that are maybe a little specific to Disney World or things that you maybe can't do other places. If you've got other ideas for date night, we'd love to hear about them. Leave us a comment, send us an email. You can reach out momstreetusa@gmail.com, or you can always find us on all of our social media platforms at Mom Street USA, or over on Patreon, also Mom Street USA over there. We'd love to hear from you guys about your thoughts on date night or any like good restaurants we maybe missed or fun activities or fun sweet treats that we should know about. I think you need to share that information because that just makes it fun for all of us, right?
Yep.
Exactly.
sharing is caring.
Exactly. So coming up next on Mom Street USA, I'm going to be doing an episode on, ironically, a realistic Disney budget, which feels kind of hysterical considering the amount of money that we talked about spending this episode. But hey, it's going to be helpful for you planning your date night to know what your budget is, right?
That's it. Well, you gotta budget the rest of the trip, and then you black out for the date night. That's the vibe. That's what's gotta happen.
That might be Duck's approach. I don't think that's the approach we're going to take next episode.
And you know what? That's probably correct.
Mhm.
Yep. So, yeah, your advice will be more sound than mine.
So come back next week if you want to know more about realistic Disney budgets. But for today, that ends our time with you. Thank you all so much for being here, for all of your support, for always liking and commenting, and just being lovely, wonderful human beings in our community. We appreciate you so much, and we will see you on the next episode of Mom Street USA. Bye, everyone.
But